Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's first video, doing JMA Friday for today's first video. So as always on a Friday, we're having a look at the weather for the month ahead with the Japanese and CFS B2 models. And it'll take us into the middle part of March. I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just say we've got 10 to 14 day video update, including all operational features coming up for you later on today. And I think we're going to have the ECM WF 42 day forecast for you tomorrow morning. That'll be the first video up tomorrow morning. No live stream tonight, still not feeling all that well, so I think I'm going to have a bit of rest tonight. I will try and do a last, because I know so many of you want to see one final Friday night live stream before we take a break for spring. So I will try and do sort of a final Friday night live stream next Friday, you know, if I feel up to it. Hopefully by then I'm feeling a bit better. I just feel quite run down at the moment, so I think it's best not to push myself by doing a Friday night live stream this week. But as I say, we'll try and get a final one before we take a break for the spring done for you next Friday, because I know so many of you want to see one last Friday night live stream. So hopefully, fingers crossed, next Friday we'll be able to do a final Friday night stream. Right, let's go with JMA Friday then. I'm going to start off with the 500 millibar height anomalies from a North Pole view down, break down to weekly periods. So, of course, this is the North Pole just here. I've got the wider Arctic Circle around there. Blue is extrapolating to below average heights, which is low pressure, yellow, orange, and red. Extrapolate to above average heights, which is high pressure. So, again, these are breakdowns of week periods. The first week period takes us from the 19th through to 26th of February. The last week of February will have high pressure to our south and southeast, combined with low pressure to our west and northwest. It means we'll be drawing up a southwesterly wind, so looking unsettled, particularly for western parts of the country, but also mild. We're drawing up wind from a long way south. So despite the fact that we do still have some northern blocking up here, actually it's a mild week to come, potentially very mild, but also with some outbreaks of rain and some quite strong winds are possible. We go through to week 2, which is going to take us from the 26th of February through to the 5th of March. Looks like the above average heights are strengthening again around Greenland and Iceland. Germany wants to strengthen the high pressure northern blocking to our north, with a trough of low pressure in across the northeastern parts of Europe. There's a ridge also to our south and southeast, and we'll be bringing in a wind from like a northerly type direction. So that could be going cold. It's perhaps a bit transitional, starting off mild and westerly, but may eventually by early March begin to pull winds back in to the north again, perhaps. And then we go through to weeks 3 and 4, which will take us from the 5th through to the 19th of March. This is looking quite unsettled, with below average heights setting up just to our north, really, from Iceland through to Scandinavia. High pressure pulling back into the middle of the Atlantic. Winds probably going on a northwest-southeast trajectory here, I would have thought. So it's unsettled and probably quite cool as well. We're not travelling into the air from like the southern Atlantic. The air is coming from the North Atlantic. It's a polar maritime sort of air mass that we have there, with the low pressure to our east. So yeah, I can envisage that's quite an unsettled but also pretty cool period from the 5th through to the 19th of March. So this is how tropical mid-latitude view is looking in terms of the mean sea level pressure, 500 millibar height anomalies, and also temperature and precipitation anomalies as well. British Isles in the top right-hand corner of the chart as you are looking at it. So we've got low pressure to our north-northwest weekend. High pressure will be to our south. Winds will be coming up from a southwesterly direction. Big ridge of high pressure covering much of Europe over here, by the way. Temperature anomalies, therefore, are very mild. I haven't seen temperature anomalies as mild as this throughout most of this winter, really, but a very, very mild week to come from the 19th to the 26th of February. Significantly above average temperatures from Ireland and the UK and West all the way over to eastern parts of Europe. A very, very mild week ahead. And the precipitation anomaly, of course, with low pressure driving in off the Atlantic, it's pretty wet as well. So above average rainfall, above average temperatures for the week to come. Let me go through to week 2. Now, the North Pole and Arctic region is off the chart. So that's off the chart up here. But we know in this week, we have got a bit of strengthening of the high pressure to our north, which might start to get wind back into more of a northerly direction. So temperature anomaly is lower. It's actually a little bit above average for the 26th to the 5th of March. It's still a little bit above average, but it's certainly lower compared to week 1. Perhaps giving the suggestion there's a bit of a transition from like very mild weather to something perhaps a little bit cooler. The precipitation anomaly is going a bit drier as well, so a cooler, drier week coming up there as we end February and go into start of March. And then weeks 3 and 4, which takes us again from the 5th to the 19th of March, sends a high pressure away to the northwest. We get low pressure developing to our north-northeast and probably sending a wind and jet stream on a northwest-southeast trajectory. Even the temperature anomalies in weeks 3 and 4 are average to slightly cooler than average, so it is a cooler spell that's setting up there with more of a northwesterly wind and more unsettled as well, with the precipitation anomaly going a little bit above average. So rather cool and unsettled as we go further on into March. But again, not desperately cold because we do lose the northern blocking signal, but we're pulling in like a polar maritime air mass, so cool, unsettled type conditions. Right, let's have a look at the CFSV2, see how that compares. Again, these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week pairs. The first week pair takes from the 19th to 25th of February. The coming week is in perfect agreement with the JMA, actually, helpfully. Got below average heights, low pressure to our west. We've got above average heights, high pressure to our east. And we're drawing up potentially a mild or a very mild southwesterly wind with the low pressure in the Atlantic, of course, bringing plenty of wet and windy weather. That high pressure in week 2 is the 26th of February to the 4th of March. High pressure then sets up over and to the east of the country. We'd be having a go at pulling in something a little bit colder from the east there, but I think most of the cold is probably going down to our south, actually. So just probably a bit cooler, definitely, the high pressure, you could expect frost and fog, but probably pleasant by day in the early March sunshine. Now, week 3 could be a little bit colder. This is the 5th through to the 11th of March. Now, very different to what the JMA was showing, of course. This is still anticyclonic, but the high pressure is going north to become centred, as it has so often this winter, between Iceland and Norway. And this would send wind properly into the east, I think. So that could start to drag in some colder air from the east, and maybe even, going a little bit wintry there, 5th through to the 11th of March. Week 4 is the 12th to the 18th of March. A little bit uncertain what's going on there. High pressure towards Greenland, perhaps. Some lower pressure out to our southwest. Otherwise, it all looks rather sketchy, doesn't it? But with high pressure around Greenland, we could still be keeping things pretty cool. But low pressure just here, probably trying to bring up some milder air from the south, though. But again, very sketchy, very weak signals for week 4. Week 1 temperature anomaly from the 19th to 25th of February is significantly mild on average, so both JMA and the CFS are in agreement that we start off very, very mild indeed. Week 2, 26th of February to 4th of March, is still above average, but does begin to cool down a little bit as that high pressure takes over and presumably produces some night frost, if nothing else. Week 3 is the 5th to the 11th of March, going a little bit colder now, especially for England and Wales, going colder across many parts of Europe as well. So you can see that we are reintroducing like a cold easterly there across much of Europe, with the east wind flooding into the west. And then again, no particular signal for week 4. Week 4 is very sketchy, isn't it? 12th to the 18th of March. No signal for the temperature anomaly, although it is mild on average like across the continent. And then finally, rainfall looks like this. So week 1, of course, is a very mild but also a very wet week from the 19th to 25th of February, substantially above average rainfall there. Much drier for week 2 as high pressure takes over across the country, 26th February to 4th of March. Substantially drier on average, barely any measurable rain. Week 3 is also looking dry on average, 5th to the 11th of March. That one comes out dry on average 2. And again, no particular signal for week 4 to the 18th of March. It's middle week of March, does look really, really uncertain. Yeah, no particular signal there either. Right, so that's JMA Friday this week. So we may, continue as it has been, rest of February looking generally quite mild now. We may get one last cold push from the east in early March, sometime in that first week to 10 days of March. There's possibility, it's no more than that, possibility is still there, but we might get one last push of cold air from the east, and then probably back to something milder by the middle part of March. So you're waiting for one last cold spell. It really is focused on, on the early part of March. JMA is very different though. I'd say that have got big discrepancy between these two markers, but JMA very different. Wants to bring like a polar maritime northwesterly and looks much more unsettled through the first half of March. So yeah, we wait and see what's happening. It does look a little bit uncertain, Miss March. So we're gonna have to wait and see how it settles down. Right, that's it for JMA Friday. This week going to be back with your 10 to 14 day update, which will include all our regular features. That'll be coming up for you. Later on. And again, no live stream this week. I'm going to take a rest tonight. Hopefully, I'll be able to do one last Friday night live stream before we have a break for spring next Friday, but no stream tonight. Right, so I'll see you very shortly for our 10 to 14 day update for JMA Friday. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.